So I want to take this time today to talk to you guys about shadow work. And the reason why I want to talk to you guys about shadow work is something which has hugely improved my mental health for the better and also my relationship with myself. Now, my question to you is, have you ever constantly tried to squash your emotions down for them just to bubble up again at a later stage? This might manifest itself when you may have had a really hard week at work and you wonder why you can't sleep or relax at the weekends. A lot of the time this is because we have repressed certain emotions to the point where we're unaware of them, but they still might bubble up from our unconscious and manifest themselves in certain ways. Now, Carl Jung, who's one of the earliest psychologists, one of the founding fathers of psychology, explains that everything that we don't accept into the psyche, i.e. our personality, we push down into the unconscious. He also explains that this is not our job. It is not our job to banish what we don't want to feel. It is instead our job to integrate those feelings into our consciousness so we're aware of them. We don't necessarily have to express them outwardly, but we still have to recognize them, feel them, and deal with them appropriately. Now, I found this out the hard way. I found myself becoming less and less tolerant to stressors, and I found it easier and easier to stoop into depression as my unconscious feelings, which I'd repressed, started to emerge. One amazingly helpful work or method which I found through exploration with my therapist was shadow work. Now, this started when I first started speaking to my therapist, and my therapist taught me that these feelings can be useful and they can be tools if we can harness them and use them appropriately. I don't necessarily have to use these emotions, but I should at least be able to recognize them. I should be able to know myself well enough to recognize when I'm experiencing inner conflict. Once I do recognize them, I can then decide whether or not to put them to good use. To do this, I first recognize, so this is going into shadow work now, how to do it. To do this, I first recognize when I feel inner conflict or irritability. Close my eyes, I take 5 deep breaths with long exhales and I sink into myself. I'll then ask 2 questions and wait for a reply. And it then results in a bit of a conversation with my unconscious mind, and it might go something like this. So I might sink into myself and then ask, who are you? i.e., what are you and where is this conflict coming from? What do you want? And the response I might have is, I am anger. I then might ask my anger, what has bothered you? And it might be, this is for example, a true example, my accountant has messed up again. It feels like mistakes are constantly being made at my expense, and that is why I am angry. And then I might respond to my anger and I say, right, okay, I can feel your pain, I know exactly what you mean. And my anger might respond, I just want to hurt them. All right, so you have to give your unconscious mind the opportunity to express itself, no matter how unsocial or how, I suppose, unsocial or inappropriate it may be. You have to recognize what comes forth. You don't want to bury that unconscious drive, because eventually it could bubble up into to poor consequences. So now I'll reply after my anger might say, I just want to hurt them. I understand, but that might not reach the end that we require. What do you mean? So my anger might then say, what do you mean? And I'll say, well, I'm sure that if we speak to them, you can let your anger be heard, but I can guide the conversation to a logical and beneficial end. So that's me negotiating with my primitive urges. It's me basically saying, you can let that out, but it has to be in a way which I feel is appropriate. My anger then might reply, okay, you call them, I'll express myself through you, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm essentially negotiating with them. So this is actually based on a conversation that I had with myself after realizing that my accountant hadn't done what I'd asked them to do, which would have saved me a lot of money and a lot of time. So notice how I do not judge my emotion. I never doubt it. I only negotiate with it. I accept everything that comes forth from my emotion. And my emotion, and another thing that I've realized, has a logical perspective. It is logical for when you've been harmed, for you to feel angry. It makes sense because you want to defend against that threat. You want to make sure that justice is provided, right? I also let that emotion tell me it's complete darkness and what it wants. I do not inhibit it. This helps me to find resolve and peace, but it also helps me to plan how I'm going to put that emotion to good use. So all I want you to do is check out, you know, this post. Let me know exactly what you think. Let me know if you feel like it's helpful or not. And if you need any help with your productivity or mental health, you know what to do. You can contact us anytime for a free consultation. But like I said, this is something that has massively helped me. I look forward to hearing how it could help you. But the key message is that we are not one mind. We are almost a captain of our ship with with a vast variety of different crew members with different characteristics. One the characteristic of that crew member might be kindness, another might be selfishness, another rage, another anger, another peace, another lust. So, you know, we are very complex human beings, and we have to see ourselves in that complexity. Thank you so much for watching. If you need any help, if you've got any questions that you'd like, any videos that you'd like me to do, all you need to do is comment below. Thanks for watching.